to the Krazy Work Podcast. This is your host, Big Slim.
I'm your boy, AL. We got brother Bilal in the building.
Peace.
We're going to talk about some real life issues and things for the YNs to really recognize and take heed to. Let's get to it.
Yo, it's crazy, man. Bilal, man. Congratulations on coming home, bro.
I appreciate that, bro.
Yes,
I appreciate that, man.
I can't even really believe that we in the same building right now, for real, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's been high school, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's a blessing, man.
Oh, yeah, man.
It's a blessing, and I congratulate you brothers as well on what you guys are doing, man.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Salute.
appreciate you. Thank you, my brother.
I see you got the end gun violence on the shirt. Yeah, I like that. That's pretty dope.
Dope, man. Dope.
So, can you let the people know a little bit about yourself? Cause, for the people that don't know you, I want you to, give them a little bit about your life, if you don't mind, as far as how your mindset was back then.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, like the brother said, I'm Bilal. My family, we're originally from Jersey. And so we've been in North Carolina since the early 90s, I think 1990. So we came from Jersey escaping domestic violence. My mother, we didn't know anybody in Statesville, no one. But she needed to get out of that relationship. And at that time in America, there was only three cities that accepted boys 13 and above in a women's shelter. So it was Elizabeth, New Jersey, Statesville, North Carolina, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So my mom wanted to get out of Jersey, so it was a toss-up between Statesville and Milwaukee, and we just decided to come here. So we came. We was in the women's shelter on the south side for about 2 months. Eventually, we got a project on Park Drive, and we integrated ourselves into the community. I hung around with Squill. Y'all know them, Squill, the Borders, Red, rest in peace, Buff, and all those guys. And eventually, I started taking school a little more seriously. So I ended up going to school, graduated. I wanted to be a probation officer upon graduation. But I didn't want to be the type of probation officer that was quick to violate people. I wanted to be more so a mentor or a big brother.
Okay,
and eventually those plans were derailed, and maybe we could talk about it at another time. But I ended up going to prison in 1999, and I came home January the 23rd, 2023. So I've been home 2 years and a half now.
That's a long stretch, bro.
Yeah, bro.
Man. Like, you got to think, from 1999 to 2023, so much has changed. You get what I'm saying? Myself, I done about 17, but it wasn't flat out. You know what I'm saying? I called a 10, then a 5, then a 2. So I understand, but it's still a difference when you could get out, kind of feel how life is going. You might go back in, recidivism. You come back out, you feel a little bit, then you go back in. There's a little different than just going all the way straight. Because I know I had a culture shock when I came out the feds. You get what I'm saying? And I wanted to, knowing where I come from and my mentality, I definitely want to know what you thought about when you, as far as people, period, when you first came out of the penitentiary.
Okay. Well, I have to say this. So prison has rules, as we all know. And
well, go ahead. Say
that.
Let's go. I want to hear that. No, let's get it.
But prison has rules, and out in society, out here, civilian life, there are rules. And so I was so used to the prison rules as far as, not being too close to people, minding your business, and everything else that comes with that. And I knew that in order for me to survive prison, I had to obey those rules. But I knew upon coming home that I didn't want to bring that prison stuff up out of here. So when I came home, I already was trying to, one of my brothers used to always say decompress, like a couple of years before I came home, he said decompress, get that stuff up out of you. So the point I'm making is when I came home, it wasn't so much a shock because I was looking forward to that day and these days now. But there were some things that were different. Of course, technology, and different things in that nature. So yes, there was a culture shock, but something that I was prepared to experience and to survive.
How did you prepare yourself for that? Like, I know you say you try to decompress on the last little ride out. We all seem to do that when you get to that last little bit. You you try to, lock away from the homies and lock away from everything you would normally have going.
Right.
But you're not really doing much to begin with, but trying to stay out the way. But my question is, like, when you finally hit, you know what I'm saying, what was your decompression way that you went about doing that?
Well, I knew that, of course, prison life wasn't normal. I knew it wasn't normal. So as an example, I did not have a good relationship with the staff in prison because I seen too many injustices with staff. The guards, the programmers, so forth and so on. So I really grew, to be honest with you, I grew a hatred for them. And so I remember early in my bid thinking, like, when I come home, if I see a cop, I'm not going to disrespect him, but if he speak to me, I'm not going to say nothing back. I remember thinking like this, so forth and so on. So one of the ways in which I decompressed, I had to understand that, these people were here to do a job. You have good and bad everywhere. And so instead of judging everyone the same, getting back to the police situation, instead of judging everyone the same by one brush, I was like, nah, I'm gonna give everybody a shot. So that was some of the ways in which I was trying to decompress, not take the stain of prison, the ignorance and the foolishness and the harshness of prison, not to come home with that.
That's right.
Because I can't survive out here. It's impossible to survive out here.
Facts.
With that prison mentality.
That's right.
It's impossible. So,
like,
It's
because
hard to
like
say.
we spoke on this the other day off the record, like we was actually just speaking, like prison, like you naturally gain a different intuition when you're in prison because you're so busy in, like, I guess, survival mode.
yeah.
Because you wanna learn much as you can learn, but at the same time you still worried about like you said, the laws, the people that's in control of you.
Yeah.
Because anything can happen to you at any given time dealing with these folks if they get the wrong impression of whatever message you may be trying to send in their prison or whatever, bro. It's a lot of different circumstances that you dealt with for two and a half decades or so, bro.
Yeah, 23
like,
years.
Come on, bro. This is real talk, bro. Like I really need to, like, your whole mindset had to be, like, locked into something, bro. What was it?
I'm going to say the two things that helped me out a lot, to be honest with you, that kept me grounded. I'm a Muslim, so my faith in God and my family. And at that point, my faith in God alone was not enough, even though I believe in Him.
Okay, all right.
God knew that I needed my family to be there. It was a balance. So the support. So those things right there really kept me balanced, where I knew I wanted to come home a different person. I knew I had to do 20-something years. So I didn't want to be one of those guys who did 20-something years in prison, not change at all, knowing what the consequences and the results going to be. Maybe the next time early graveyard, or possibly taking someone's life, which means the rest of my life in prison. So it was just every day trying to be more human, so to speak, even though I was locked up with a lot of people and in environments in which it was animalistic. So it was a struggle. It was difficult, but, again, my faith and my family is what kind of kept me structured.
Okay, that's right.
It's crazy because the society that we in right now, especially our culture, it's almost like we idolize people that go to jail. You get what I'm saying? Especially if you was a big time dope boy or something like that, you go in, people can't wait for you to come out because it's a party, it's live, it's backlit, the money gonna start flowing in, whatever the case may be. But truthfully speaking, on my end, I think a lot of young guys out here, even the females, don't know what they're getting themselves into.
Bro.
So it only takes a split second to make a bad decision, and it might take you a lifetime,
That's right.
you know what I'm saying, to pay for it.
That's right.
And I really feel like a lot of people don't know that once you pull that trigger, you might think you hard and all this, you solid, you got your little mug shot, you looking like a real gangster, but they feel different once them steel doors
That's
shut
right.
and you locked up in there and you know you got to do this big.
That's right, bro.
You get what I'm saying? So I'm saying that to say this, I know your mentality changed, but if you could speak to your younger self, what would you have told your younger self? Because your younger self is the same people that we're trying to reach right now.
I would have told my younger self that no matter what I would go through in life, that there is a creator. So you have to call on God or whomever you believe your God to be, so to speak. But you have to call on him when you're going through trials and tribulations, because we all have been affected with trauma. And that's what I didn't do. I didn't call on God and ask him for help like I should have, because I was trying to be strong, stoic, you know, and that's the wrong message. So for the younger brothers, I would say again, and the sisters that's out there, when you're going through these trials and tribulations, call on God, because he hears and he sees. And also confide into people that you know mean the best. You know that wishes you well. It may be a grandmother, it may be an aunt, it may be your mother, but find someone to actually talk to, someone who will take the time to listen and to give you good advice.
Yeah.
Someone with experience.
That's that word.
And see, it's crazy though, because that's what we was talking about on the past 2 episodes that we just had, is actually men talking to other people, because we don't do that. You get what I'm saying? We feel like, especially like incarcerated, you ain't telling nobody your problems. You know what I'm saying? So you got to hold all of that in. Then you get out. And I know sometimes it could be that you didn't receive a good welcome home. You know what I'm saying? Support is everything. A lot of people get out and they got to get everything on their own, and that builds bitterness. You know what I'm saying? I don't need nobody. Wasn't nobody there for me. Woo, woo. I'm just mad at the world.
Of course.
So it's like, how can I put this?
For the young fellas that's in that position, how you could put that, bro?
You're not. I know with me, I thought, you know, with the gang lifestyle, I thought I was going to come home and they was going to roll out the red carpet. You know what I'm saying? Brother's going to pull out, here go your chain, here go your, and I ain't get that. You get what I'm saying? I'm like, damn, this is crazy. You know what I'm saying? I just did a whole bit. You know what I'm saying? I got to do it. But I found myself starting to get bitter, but then I had to, it kind of helped me man up once I told myself, listen, you got yourself in this.
That's right.
You got to get yourself out of this.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? You
That's
could
right.
do it the right way.
That's right.
And then I was scared to do it the right way. I'm so used to taking the shortcuts and trying to get this real quick that I didn't respect honest work.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And when I came home, I went to a community culinary arts of Charlotte. Shout out to y'all. You know what I'm saying? It's a nonprofit organization, and I started cooking. They got me a job. I got my first check. I'm like, damn, I ain't got to sell no
That's
dope.
right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
And everything started falling after that, but it's a lot of fear that men have. You know what I'm saying? And I'm trying to get we all trying to get the young people to realize you could open up, like you said, to somebody.
Yes, right.
Overcome that fear.
You know what I'm saying? Because like you said, we got wisdom when it comes to the street life, but young people don't want to hear it because they think we don't know what we're talking about.
right.
But we grew up just like them. You know what I'm saying? Just we still I think we had different principles back then. Now, it doesn't matter if it's a family member, if they feel like you are op, they going to come at you. You know what I'm saying? And it's, to me, my understanding on what I went through, I try to turn trauma into motivation, basically. You know what I'm saying? And it takes a lot. It takes a lot. But it's a damn good feeling, y'all, once you get through that hardship. You know what I'm saying? So, like, what do you have going on now? Like, because I know when you came home, I know you took some trips across seas, seeing the world, you know, speaking in the penitentiary system.
Yes.
So, is that what you're doing to fuel the right path? Because it's hard, you know what I'm saying?
No, so I do have a job. I work at a meat factory in Dobson, North Carolina. So I work there first shift, and then I do a little Ubering on the side. So this is where the finances are coming from. But I'm also part of an organization. It's a national organization that just launched a few months ago called the Prison Survivor Network. So what this entails is we teach prisoners basically how to survive. You know, so we go in there, we mentor them, we encourage them, we let them know that, listen, we've been there, done that. You know, we want to be examples. So we know exactly what you brothers are going through. Like you said, as far as with people in the streets, we've been there, done that. We know exactly what you're going through. However, there is an alternate way that you can go where you can make money, where you can feel safe, where you can develop a family, and you can be loved and cared for. So this is what I'm doing with that, and I'm also part of an organization. I'm the outreach and reentry coordinator with Second Chance Books, which is an Islamic organization that's geared towards putting the proper message of Islam out there, because as of now, Islam has really a bad name, you know, extremists, so forth and so on. So, and what I would encourage I think as men, and particularly black men being active in our own communities, we have to be active. We have to be present for the young brothers. We have to. Whether it's our family members, neighbors, or just pulling up on the corner, just happen to see somebody, knowing how to talk to them. You've been in the streets. You've been in the streets. There's a lot of people in Statesville who have been in the streets and they turned their life around. And I think we need to, including myself, we need to do more. And this is not pointing the finger at anybody, but I think that we all need to do, or for me, and for those who may not be doing enough, we need to do more to try to mentor these brothers. And the first thing I would say is let the young people express themselves. Even though we may disagree with what they're saying, they talking some BS, let them get it out.
Yeah, facts.
And understanding how we should respond to them because they want to be heard. You know, so I think that's important.
You know, you just sparked the memory. I don't know if you remember, man, I seen you and Tion. We was all in Rabbit Town. I'm coming down the hill. I think y'all was walking up the hill or vice versa. And I don't know what I had going on, but I remember I was like, man, where y'all going? I'm trying to run with y'all. You was like, man, if you don't go home. Man, what? You was like, this ain't for you, go home.
Yeah, bro,
I was trying to get active, man. But I remember,
was on 10, like one way. You was on one way, like, you don't see nothing but what you see, you know what I mean?
That says a lot right there, because you could have been like, come on, and I could have been right along with y'all and all of this other stuff, you know, but you still took the time out to be like, man, just go on ahead, man, go to the crib. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, and I still took my hard-headed ass on somewhere else and done some wild shit. But, you know, it is.
But the good thing about it is you learned already.
Yeah, man, what?
So that's priceless.
It took me a couple times to bump my head. But, you know, everybody's going to have their point where realization kicks in. Me as my sons being older and then trying to follow in the other side of the footsteps. So I'm like, okay, I got to change. You know what I'm saying? Like,
they see everything.
They see everything, and they're going to be you times too.
That's right.
So I did not want that for my kids. So I had to make an executive decision.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. And my, you know, I also struggle with, I'm very knowledgeable on any type of religion, history, so I went through my little ways, like Charles Ray, rest in peace to the homie, you know what I'm saying? We was all 5%ers, you know what I'm saying? And I had my phase, then I was like, you know, I was in prison, I had a lot of bros that was Muslims, so I used to go fast with the Muslims, Ramadan every year, go to Muslim education, Jum'ah, and I just thought the religion was so beautiful. And, you know, we got to, politics and religion is crazy in prison, but, you know, you have those groups where we get together, we start building. I'm like, well, you know, started reading in the Quran, but now, you know, I call myself a Christian, you know what I'm saying? Well, I don't even really like the title. I just believe in God, you know what I'm saying? I believe in God.
I understand what you're saying.
You know, so it makes you think when you actually start reading and you see it in real life, like, man, these words are very, very real. You know what I'm saying?
Powerful.
A lot of young guys, like you said, don't have a father figure in the house or an uncle that swings by. They're not teaching them nothing about any type of spirituality. So I think that's a real big flaw. You know, trying to do it on your own without believing in something, whether like you call it God, Allah, Yahweh, whatever you choose to say, you know, I don't think you're gonna make it too far. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like that's the only purpose in living really is to have faith for something greater. You get what I'm saying? So, I mean, we're trying to really work on some things. Of course, I feel like we're battling, not really ourselves, but we battling a lot, you know, because people don't want to hear nothing that's really motivational. You get what I'm saying? If it ain't no drama, if it ain't a fight, if it ain't no ratchet shit, they not really trying to lock in. You get what I'm saying? But I really appreciate you, you know, coming through and sharing, because I feel like these stories and other people's stories is touching people out there. You get what I'm saying? If you don't mind, could you speak about a certain trauma from your past that might have gave you some aggression towards, you know?
Well, I was thinking about this, to be honest with you, earlier. So when the brother mentioned, and maybe some others that know me, I never really, you know, sometimes we say this, like I wasn't really that much of a bad kid, and I would like to think the same for myself. I don't think I was really like a bad guy, but I seen a lot of trauma and experienced it. You know, coming up, like I say, in Jersey, and I didn't realize when I came to North Carolina and when I started, you know, acting up in various ways, that it was the trauma that that caused me to make some of the decisions that I made. Even though, you know, at the end of the day, everything lies with me. But it was the unresolved trauma is what I'm trying to say. And so what really led me to prison was there was a family member of mine. Many people don't know this, just maybe people that was kind of like in my circle. But there was a family member of mine who, I'm gonna give you the short version, but she lied and said that I molested her son, which was my nephew. At the time, he was 13 months. And this wasn't anything that she saw in which she was confused and she thought she seen something, but it wasn't really it. It was a lie out of anger and her own trauma. And so that was the beginning of me. At the time, I was going to Mitchell to be a probation officer, like I said. So I ended up getting arrested. I was taking a criminal justice class, so I was in a class with cops, and it was just super embarrassing. But more importantly, I was hurt because of the lies she told on me, being a close family member.
Yeah, I can dig it.
You know, and in this case, it was one of my sisters.
I can dig it, bro.
As well as my nephew, you know, because he was like the son/little brother that I never had. So instead of me, this is what I mean by calling out. So when we go through these different forms of trauma, instead of keeping everything concealed or hid, and this as men, a lot of times we do this. We have to seek advice and seek help, call on God, so forth and so on. And I didn't do that. And then eventually I know that I had to have went through a state of depression, even though I didn't know the clinical term. I didn't actually know that's what I was going through. And then there was a point in life where I really didn't care about living anymore. Not so much where I wanted to slit my wrists or commit suicide, but I didn't care about the consequences of my actions. So I went down that path, and eventually I started committing crimes and started robbing things, and I'm getting caught. You know, and so what helped me with that to recognize that even when we go through things, at the end of the day, we still have choices to go right or go left. I had to, it was a lot of like deep thought, and it was people that I was close with in prison that I started talking to about the trauma that I was going through. And I was blaming everything on my sister, to be honest with you. I'm in prison because of this, I'm in prison because of that. By the way, we did go to trial. The verdict was it took maybe 15, 20 minutes for the verdict, so I was found not guilty. But by that time, I was really just knee deep into the streets, so that wasn't enough to heal. But there were people in prison, Muslims, Christians, 5%ers, Rastas, gang members, atheists, and in 1 or 2 cases, homosexuals, who gave me the advice that I needed to hear in order to get myself on the track, to look deep within, and to realize that I didn't want to be that person anymore. And ultimately, understanding that it was my choices that brought me to prison. So.
That's powerful though, man.
Yeah, man.
That's real powerful, for real, for real. And it really be like that though, like brothers, even sisters, even women, you know, like, cause you gotta think, like, you know, we got black women out there, not just black women, a lot of women out there might have been molested or touched, and you see them sometimes the most freakiest girls out there, but the guys only worried about what she doing in the bedroom. Right. You get what I'm saying? They ain't trying to tap into her mind. It's always gonna be something else, the reason why somebody's acting out. You get what I'm saying? It's just crazy work, man.
See
it really
daily,
is.
Though. We definitely see that daily. We've experienced it, whether, you know, young or old or whatever age you are, bro. People have so much trauma that they, like you say, people willing to lie, they willing to cheat, steal, whatever they have to do because they're experiencing trauma that was dealt to them and they want to inflict on other people, you know. And this the time we dealing with that more nowadays than any other time that I've experienced in my life, you know. It's crazy work.
Yeah, I mean, look at what we got going on. Here in Statesville, I want to say rest in peace to Pastor Burton.
Yeah, blessings to the Burton family. We want to give y'all blessings, peace and love.
Condolences from Crazy Work Podcast for sure. But I don't really want to touch on it too much, but it's just sad, man. It's really a sad situation because Statesville done had at least, I want to say about 6, 7 murders already.
Yeah, man, senseless murders.
And we're in a city, now not Iredell County, but just the city of Statesville only has 30,000 people. You get what I'm saying? So what that means is per capita, Statesville has already got more murders than the national average.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? That is insane.
It's
It's insane,
bro.
and it's our own people. You get what I'm saying? You go over these comments, you see what's going on with the world. It's like the rebirth of racism again. All right? It's basically America's black and white. Everybody's tired, but nobody's uniting.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? And I just feel like you said, it's on all of us to get more active in the community, like period. Because I mean, and then to me, it still falls on the parents, because I feel like some parents condoning what their children are doing. You know what I'm saying? So I just feel like it takes everybody. A lot of people don't want to hear the truth.
Yeah.
The truth is going to hurt every time once you realize that you at fault.
That's right.
You get what I'm saying?
You know what I believe? All hands on deck. We had a time where we cannot allow religion, race, color, and creed. We cannot allow that to keep us divided, so forth and so on. Because as a people, Statesville, when I was in prison, bro, you'd be surprised how many people that wasn't from Statesville, but that basically knew Statesville as a violent city. It was like, yo, y'all small city. People from Charlotte told me, man, it's a real small city, but it's lit there. And the point I'm making is like, it's all hands on deck. We are each other's medicine. I got this from Dr. Hashan Betts. Right. But we are each other's medicine, and we have to understand that we all have been, we all are going through some sort of trauma. And if the trauma is not resolved, if we don't seek help, if we don't try to mentor, we don't try to heal ourselves and help people heal, it's going to be a recurring cycle, and it's not going to stop.
Yeah. I know you read this book, Slave Making and Breaking by Willie Lynch.
Yes.
A lot of people don't know about that. I'd have said it on probably 2 different episodes, but that book is so real because it's so relevant in today's structure. So just to give y'all a quick rundown, Willie Lynch, this book is called Slave Making and Breaking, dealing when they came from the west coast of Africa to Jamaica or to the Caribbean islands. And there they try to implement this method, and they said if you implement this method the right way, it'll last for 400 years. You get what I'm saying? And basically it's the fat hate the skinny, the tall hate the short, light skin versus the dark skin. It's
young
just
and old.
Young and old.
We see this.
And we see it today.
Yeah.
Now, excuse my language, what they say, I don't like that fat bitch. Look at that skinny bitch. Oh, I don't like dark skinned nigga. You know what I'm saying? That's exactly what we doing. But it's so normal that it seemed like it's right.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? That's a form of hate. That's a form of envy. It's a form of jealousy.
Offended, like by just saying it's just a normal term, because like the terms that we come up with, my nigga, this and that and the third, at the same time, it is degrading. Let's be honest. But we don't know no better because we just going with the times, we going with the trends, bro. Like that's how women talk to themselves, back and forth with each other, how they communicate, bitch this, that. You know what I'm saying? Like as a real black dude, how does that bother you when you see women do that with each other? Like, let's be clear on that, bro.
Yeah, I don't like it. And I don't like, the way that we disrespect one another. But I do know that I went through a phase in which I was doing that.
Yeah, everybody.
And I also know that we are responsible for our actions. But the brother said something powerful. He said that the letter was called The Making and Breaking of a Slave, right?
Yes.
Which means that we're not born to be this way. We're not.
You're right.
But this is historical trauma, community trauma, intergenerational things that's been passed on, and unfortunately, when you mention the parents nowadays, parents not understanding that they have trauma that they're passing on to their children, and those children, and everyone is getting younger, having children, so forth and so on. So the point I'm trying to make is, right now I don't like it, but I understand. Yeah, I'm not saying it's cool. I'm just saying I understand why it happens. I understand why it happens, but it's not cool,
But with trying to understand it, I mean, I do that because I give everyone the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
But when some people have this embedded into their whole lifestyle of, it may be impossible for some of these females to change that whole vernacular that they got, ghetto talk, you know what I'm saying? It's wild. I mean, I love all my women.
No,
but
I get it.
Sometimes that just gets a little annoying when you just hear women going back and forth.
Yeah.
Bitch this, bitch that, da. Then, and then they entertain and all the other shit that just be out of the context for the black man like myself.
Yeah.
Like, for example, you know, I don't know. Some women like to entertain the homosexuality on the TV. And, you know, like me, I have nothing against homosexuals, but it's just that what do I look like as a man just sitting on watching TV with my girl and she's watching this?
Hey, bro, put it
you
on
know,
that P.
I'm gonna just
put
keep
on that
it
P back,
real,
baby.
bro. Like, I
Yeah.
no, I'm not. Whatever you would say about it, I'm not trying to make this a thing. Just like, bro, what am I trying to get out of that?
right.
I mean, why I'm gonna just sit there and just constantly be indulged in every little sensitive thing? Because women entertain that. I feel like we don't have enough strong men in our community because they're falling victim to this. Nothing against the gay people, but bro, we need a lot more stronger men that's gonna be family oriented, hands-on with their kids, not teaching them the wrong things to do. Because we living in a generation now where like parents are their kids' best friends, bro. They're allowing them to do things that they're doing at a early age in life, bro. It's just crazy shit, bro.
That's right, man.
I see. To kind of like expound on what you just said, you also got to think too when the man is out the house, right, and you got the woman raising the children. Some, not all, no shade to anyone if this fits your category, but you got a lot of women that talk shit about the father to the kids.
Facts. That's
That puts a mental note in the kid's head, period.
trauma.
Oh, you acting like your damn daddy. Your daddy ain't shit. Actually, no good father. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that is so wrong because at the end of the day, most women done some bullshit that they ain't telling their kids they done. You know what I'm saying? So you got the mother story and then you got the father story, but the kid is not around the father. And then most time the father ain't even trying to speak bad about the mother. You get what I'm saying?
His head like, bitch, you don't even know who my daddy is. You talking all this shit.
So you know, like you said, it's just crazy work inside of the households. You get what I'm saying? And they won't see that that's wrong because none of the women are telling them, girl, you need to stop talking about that kid daddy. You know what I'm saying? They're not checking their homegirls. And I feel like that is so lame because we're in a state where people rather be lied to than told the truth.
Yeah. I agree with everything you said, and this is what we've been speaking about, and this is why it's important for the men to show up at the end of the day. Because once, for instance, we'll say a baby mother, once this man get himself in order, you know, God being the foundation and everything else will follow, I believe it's in a woman's nature to... And you're right, everyone is not necessarily going to be saved. But the point I'm making is once that man becomes an example, a positive example, you know, eventually, you know, all that talking about the father and so forth and so on.
Submissively follow, like, okay, I'm gonna cut back on it. I see, because every woman say they want a good man. But the man, their ideal man is really not the good dudes that they kind of looking for nowadays, bro. You know, you want a man that got everything, but what comes with a man with everything's come other women. Let's just be clear on that.
And at the same time, where the balance isn't, they want what they want out of a man. But men want what they want out of a woman. Sometimes, they're not willing to reciprocate.
And let's say for instance, you done met a young, successful. She don't got to be young. She could be of age or whatever. She's successful and she got a nice bag. You know, there's something going on in her life outside. But as a man, you know, you're not focused on that, but you should want to know that. Don't be that naive enough to believe that, okay, all right, bro. But a real woman will let you know, like, yeah, it's somebody, but it's not with that, you know. But a silent person is just going to keep things in the fold, and then things may reoccur and come to surface, and you're like, oh, now here we go, you know.
That's right, bro.
It's crazy. You know, they say people here for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. And I look at relationships almost like it depends. You know what I'm saying? Like this, if you want a woman that's motivated and secure in her own bag, her own life, it's gonna come with a lot. It might not be another guy. It might be that she's too self-disciplined.
Well, you right,
get what
bro.
I'm saying? So you might be with this woman, and then she goes up to another level, she got a new job, new careers, you know what I'm saying? She got her eyes on this, and you still stuck right here. Eventually, she's gonna be like, okay, this ain't what I signed up for.
Yeah, her eye
You're not
ain't for
stepping
that
up.
no
Or
more.
the woman comes to the man like, I need you to do this, and it could be vice versa. The man might go to the woman and be like, why you sitting here watching TV? This your third blunt, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna go out to the gym, you're gonna do this. You got some homegirls, you wanna go out, you trying to see life, you trying to live life, what are you doing?
Right.
Once it clicks or life starts rapidly moving in a different trajectory, a relationship might fall apart. It's a reason, a season, or a lifetime. I just feel like people are together for the level that they are on.
Yeah.
You know, whether it's spiritually, financially, anything. If you're not constantly growing together, it's not gonna last.
That's right. And you know, I feel like with that the example you gave, the first example, we'll say there's a guy who may not be having, he may not make six figures. He may even have a record.
Yeah.
But you know, at least physically, the man and the woman, they like how they, you know, physically they like that aspect. But the woman, she's six figures. You can't pay her rent. She own her house.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? So you basically the mortgage, and you ain't paying the car note because she owned the car.
Yeah,
the point I'm trying to make is, and then vice versa. I think that. We'll use that example again with this woman. If she see that this guy has potential, she has to, you know, because a woman has a way, it's in her nature to try to know how to, so she has to be wise enough to say the right thing, to give him a little bit of push, because that's all we need sometimes.
That's all we want.
Yeah.
Let's be
But
clear.
so you don't think it's hard for women to understand?
That's all
Because a
we
lot of
want.
women don't know that they could say something with good intentions, but it strike a man's ego.
It ain't what you say,
get
it's
what I'm
how you
saying?
say it.
Well, this is where, so the organization that I'm a part of, they teach a concept. It's called the TREE concept. T stands for trauma. So in order to combat trauma, we have to have trauma-informed care, meaning knowing, we have to have the proper information in order to help them heal from trauma. The next step is R, which stands for, man, I can't believe I won't remember what R is. But basically it's like repairing a relationship. So it's repairing the harm that we've done. So in my case, I was in for robbery. So it's about understanding that I committed this robbery, I was wrong, even though I was going through trauma, but I decided to do this. So acknowledging my fault, and the victims, trying to help them heal so that we can repair relationships. But the next one, what you're talking about, E stands for emotional intelligence. So we have to know what to say, how to say it, and when to say it. This is something that we have to master. So for instance, maybe what the woman says, or maybe what the man says to the woman is right.
Yeah.
But he's not saying it right.
Yeah.
He's not saying it at the proper time.
Right way, you know?
And so forth, and then it can cause more harm than
yeah,
good.
definitely.
So this is where wisdom kicks in.
Oh, yeah.
And the last one being equity, by the way.
I know that's right.
Let's go.
Man, that's crazy work though, for real. But that's everyday things that people aren't really realizing. You know, you could go 2-3 weeks with your partner and not talk about a realistic motherfucking thing. Excuse my French. But you talk about what somebody else is going through. You could talk about the job. You could talk about your dreams. But you ain't talking about, hey, what do we need to do as a couple? The same way with the community. We could talk about it all day long, but when we actually sit down amongst each other, what are we trying to do with the community? You get what I'm saying?
That's right.
And I just feel like a lot of people use the word woke, and it kind of like it gets played out when social media gets a part of it. And I'm woke. People can say that all day long, but when you actually look at what's going on, nobody really woke.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? It's a real small percentage of us that's out here actually woke. And, you know, right now I feel like once you do wake up and you start going on the right, you got to think the devil is going to come into the picture. It's going to start pulling you. You're going to have all type of things going on. And just stay focused. You know, and keep, like you said, you got to call on God. You got to call on Him when you start feeling those things. Because you changed, I changed, bro changed. You got to think somebody in the background talking junk.
Yeah.
Praying on your demise, praying on things to fall, praying on things not to make it, or
right.
Success to
Playing
be in
on
the
crazy
picture.
work
You get
not
what
to
I'm
go
saying?
where we going, you know?
Yeah, I mean, but it's true. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure, you know, since you've been home, you might hear something, you might not. Hopefully you haven't, but, you know, people are going to, you know, I feel like the community, our culture, it's like crabs in the barrel.
Yeah. What I would say, the R stands for restorative justice. You know, to be honest with you, bro, I try to stay away. Like I don't need any, and I know you guys feel the same, but any type of negative energy, anything that's toxic, we have to push it. You know, sometimes it can be family members. So you know, you don't cut the ties with the family member, but it's like feed them with a long spoon, so to speak. So the toxicity will be there. But that should not be enough to derail us, even though maybe it has in the past. Yeah. You know what I mean? And you did prison time, I did prison time. We can make it out of those walls. Man, we can come out here and make it, man, and enjoy and live a good life.
Look at what we doing now.
Look what we doing now.
Look what we doing now.
You know what I mean? So and we know that there were haters and all types of stuff in the prison system.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Still got it in there. Man, prison really taught me a lot.
That's right.
I'm not even gonna lie. It taught me a lot, especially with men, because you ain't surrounded by straight guys. Bro. You got different mentalities. So you there with the compulsive liars, the compulsive gamblers, the super freaky in the shower jacket ass niggas. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you see them come in and out, and then you might have to do business with them and things of that nature. Yeah, but when you get out, you got to think those people that are in there come from out here in the free world. It's just that inside it's closed corners, so
you see it.
You see it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You can't hide it. Everything is in the open. So when you get out and it's far spread, you know, you can't really detect anything. But I always, like, even when somebody just walk up to me, my mind automatically goes to something that happened in penitentiary. I'm like, oh man, he's lying. Yeah. Or you could feel the negative energy. You really kind of like, it teaches you how to really stay on point on a different level. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to like glorify that part, but I feel like you have to really accept what your life brought to you, because it's for you to be a certain person. Like, I wouldn't be the guy that I am right now if I would have never went to the penitentiary.
That experience.
You know
I was going to ask both of you brothers that. You know, and starting with you, would you say prison really was even though you hated it?
It saved me. It saved me.
It definitely gave me a whole different mindset about my whole perspective on life.
That's right.
And it definitely, I think I needed that, because I was headed in a direction I probably wouldn't be able to turn back and be where I'm at today right now.
You know, so what's happened is for and particularly in the black community, like if you look at these different cultures, the men and the women, but the men, they have something, the boys, rites of passage, which means that they go through, when they get of a certain age, you know, and a lot of times it's the men in the community that put these boys through certain tests, so forth and so on, the rites of passage that introduces them to manhood. And unfortunately, we don't get that until we get to prison.
Yeah.
That's right.
You know what I mean? So we got to stop that.
Because it's like you learn, like how you said in the beginning of the show, you learn to stay out of people's business, guard what you say,
keep your distance,
all
of that.
What I meant earlier when I said I was shocked when I was released from the feds and I got to the Greyhound bus station and people just walking by. And I'm like, yo, what is you doing? Like, I'm like, yo, they have no idea.
I went through that.
You know what I'm saying? Who they just bumped? Like, you know what I'm saying? They just willy-nilly woo-the-woo. Or we might be having a conversation and somebody just walk up, hey man,
Yes.
What?
Disrespect.
You know, how do you interrupt two men talking? These is rules that these guys don't know. And then you see them green when they get to the yard and you try to pull them to the side. Hey, let me tell you these rules, bro. Da-da-da-da-da. You let them know. And then from there, after 90 days, I always say, give a person 90 days, you see their true color behind the wall. Right. Give them 90 days and then you see them getting ran off the yard, or they got a dead, or they in a pink jumpsuit, whatever the case may be. But,
Somebody trying to break in and check
out. Man.
What we doing?
But
get the tech.
I learned. Shout out to my homie Steelmatic. You know what I'm saying? Love you, big bro. When I got to, I'm gonna say Tiger River, Spartanburg, I met one of my cellies, man, Steel, Mr. Remarkable. Pause on the name. That's your name, though. You know what I'm saying? Mr. Fourier. And I was still like, you know, I was always a silly type of dude, whatever, so I'm still walking around. They would say, like, man, why you always smiling, man? You in prison. But that's really just me. I smiled really to keep from just being angry. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I just put a smile on my face, period. I'm trying to be as free as possible while I'm in there. But I was what taught me a real lesson was, you know, you get in there, some people make moves. I was one of those move makers. And I tried with the homeboy thing. Oh man, you making some money, let me get in on that. All right, so I let him get in. Somehow he running off at the mouth, our stuff gets it gets busted or whatever. Long story short, my roomie comes in there, shuts the door, like, 285, 6'3", been already down about 15. You get what I'm saying? I'm sitting there like, what's good? Nah, what's good is you. You running off at the mouth thinking you got homeboys in here. You know what I'm saying? Like, this how you coming. So I'm like, long story short, we about to get into it. But I'm like, damn, I really did violate him. You know what I'm saying? This is my brother. This was our thing. And me trying to be on some homeboy, you could just call it a spade, sneaky, hey, I got it, you could get in on it. Me and my partner now is about to crash into selling in South Carolina. I don't know how it is in North Carolina. They really do knife fight. You know what I'm saying? Dude, you got your gloves on, you got your boots on, you got your shank, I got my shank, let's get it. You know what I'm saying? So it was neither we about to have a knife fight or you gonna go over there and handle this. You see what I'm saying? And a lot of people don't know that these are the things that you're going to have to do when you get to the penitentiary when they say animals. You see what I'm saying? So now I got to go across there and put my work in or the work going to get put in on me. You see what I'm saying? So that right there checked me. Ever since then, I was on some, it's who I deal with and who I deal with only. I don't got no reason to talk to you. We ain't talking business. And I still carry myself like that because I feel like the way that you got through prison will keep you safe as long as you don't get comfortable in the free world. You know what I'm saying? You start getting relaxed and all this other stuff. You got to stay prayed up, stay focused, and keep that steel sharp and steel iron sharp as iron type mentality. You get what I'm saying? Because they don't know what they try and do walking around with these sticks and don't nobody even study law. You got to think. I didn't know nothing about law until I got locked up. You know what I'm saying? I could probably beat somebody else's case for them right now. They don't know nothing about that, man.
For the young brothers, man, we speaking about prison. Prison, it appears that it's cool to go to jail. I never thought that, by the way, even though I've been to jail multiple times. I never went through that phase. But the point is, it appears that jail is cool and prison is cool. But man, like he said, when those doors shut, your mom gets sick, your grandmom die on you, something happens to your little brother, your people graduate, so forth and so on. You see people get killed in prison. You see guards kick people's teeth in prison. You see people get raped in prison. The gang culture is serious in prison. When he talk about that, the knife and so forth and so on, it comes to a time where a person say, man, I didn't know it was going to be all this. So a lot of times we do things, and I was, one of them, I was, with my actions, but didn't understand the consequences. Didn't understand the consequences. So the young brothers that's actually listening, I have to do a better job of trying to mentor you brothers, but understanding that, like, for instance, if I decide to slap this brother as an example, now I can choose to slap him if I want to, but I can't choose what he's going to do to me. He may have something on him. He may not get me. He may get somebody I love. So forth and so on. So we can't control the consequences. And we should never try to, particularly when it's negative consequences.
Facts.
We should never want to be in a situation where we at the mercy of someone else, so to speak. Whether it's the courthouse, so forth and so on.
No matter what.
You said it right there. Don't nobody
That was beautiful.
You can't predict somebody's reaction.
That's right.
Like you said, somebody might punch. That's dude going to get a gun. You get what I'm saying? You can't say that he was wrong to get a gun. You know what I'm saying?
I started it.
Yeah, I started it.
I can't choose. I can't. I can't say, nah, bro, slap me back. I gotta accept whatever come with it.
That's right. You got to.
It's a domino effect. Once you tip over that domino, it never comes back. It's going straight forward. One thing after the next. Universal law. For every action is a reaction.
That's just part of being a real man. Like, you gotta accept what come with whatever decision you make.
That's right, bro.
After that, that's just
I
being
wish
a
I
real
could call
man.
my son, bro. When I had my oldest boy live with me, right? Now I would get off work my 8 hours, come clean up, whoop, whoop, whoop. So one time I was in there and I'm cleaning up, thinking in my mind, I'm not even gonna say nothing. My boy about to get up and start helping me. So I'm cleaning up. He's just sitting there laying down. And I kind of lost it. I ain't gonna hold you. I went in the room, I said, hey, if we was in prison, I'd beat the fuck out you right now. You know what I'm saying?
I remember that scenario.
Hey, this is what I told him, though. I was so mad. But, I'm like, listen, bro, I said, you out here thugging. What you think gonna happen when you get locked up? You're not gonna be able to just sit and lay in the room in the bed and put a cup there and not pick it up. I said people lose their life to cellies.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like you got to be a real man. Get up, clean your room, be presentable, things of that nature. It shouldn't take prison for them to say, hey, you gotta go shave or take a shower. You got a 9-day shower
Stay
policy,
well
whatever.
groomed.
Yeah, you know, because a lot of them young niggas is funky. Excuse me, but I ain't be funky, man. Wear hoodies, summertime, wintertime. You know, they don't know nothing about that. You know, they waiting on some woman to go buy their boxes and socks, man.
Yeah,
for real.
Yeah.
So
this is crazy.
But it is just crazy that I reflected on that because I knew I was wrong for saying that, but I wanted to give him a live reaction because my nostrils was flared, veins on the side, and I'm literally in his face like this. You know what I'm saying? I said, this is what it's gonna be like, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't thug it without thinking there's gonna be some type of consequence. I seen it myself where you got gang members in the county jail and they know it's neither you get on North Carolina time or you get on gang time. And as soon as they get on the yard, oh, I don't bang, bro. You know you ain't supposed to bang behind. It's so many different excuses, but you got 19 5-point stars going across the forehead. You know what I'm saying? They don't know what they signing up for until it gets real.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, fact.
That's right, man. You know, maybe about a month ago when he was getting back, like thinking about our actions, I was going to Walmart and you know, there's different ways to get into Walmart. But we got to like the 4-way, kind of like in the parking lot. It was me. Somebody had got there before I did. And I'm waiting for him to go. He don't. So now I messed around and make that right. And I see him like, you know, it looked like, and I ain't gonna lie, I started messing with my ego a little bit. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, Dad, bro, I waited. You didn't go. Now that I'm. So to make a long story short, I got out the car. We parked maybe about 10 cars apart, 10 spaces apart. And I'm waiting on him. But not on. I was battling, but I know I wasn't. I'm trying to make it home that night. So I know I had to approach this wisely. But at the same time, I don't want any problems. So, you know, so when he came out, man, he was about 6'5", 280. I'm like, yo, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, I wanted to at least talk to him because I don't want any issues. I don't know what's on his mind, in other words, right? Yeah. So anyway, so I waited on him. I got into Walmart. I was getting me a cart. He pulled up. And I was like, I said, basically, I was like, bro, I didn't see you. Excuse me. I said, bro, I wasn't trying to be disrespectful as far as, you know, to cut you off. He was like, what are you talking about? And I said, well, when I made that right, I looked at you, you was like, and he was like, bro, I'm not even thinking about that. And I was like, I'm grateful because I didn't want any issues either way. Like I said, my intention was to make it home. But at the same time, that may seem small to people, but at the same time, I didn't know how he would behave because now we're actually in the store together. I just didn't know what type of time.
Check his temperature.
That's right. Exactly. I didn't know what type of time he was on, but I went to him humbly, and he came to me. He reciprocated. It was humble, and we shook hands. And this is what men do.
Yeah.
You know, men do. Our goal after you leave here, bro, your goal is to make it home to your babies tonight and to your lady.
For sure.
But ain't nothing wrong with that, with you, if you feel like it's a problem that could arise and you like, yo, bro, is everything good? We all right, whatever.
Yes.
Because, I mean, sometimes you have to do that as man with, because you may feel like you may have offended someone in a slight, even in a slight form.
That's right.
You feel me? I mean, I look at shit like that now.
Right.
Like,
and if a man feel like he offends someone, a man has no problem saying, bro, that's my bad. A real man.
A real man.
A real man.
Real man. That's where you get the term man time. What type of time I'm on man time. I'm standing on my own and I'm 10 toes down on what I believe in. My principles, my morals, and I'm not changing it for no one. And I respect it. I feel like that's not what's going on. That's what I'm saying. That's not what happens. Men are afraid to approach men or say something manly. Like, there's nothing wrong with saying, hey, bro, I don't like the way you talk to me.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. You know, if I'm not coming, but you know,
tell
aggressive.
somebody else that, like, I don't like the way such and such talk to me. I'm gonna have to.
Next time I see that,
switch on his ass.
But and that's what females do, though. Females go back and backbite and talk about one another. You know, men and women, they all got the same traits. You got a feminine side and a masculine side. You know, some men just have more of a feminine side. There's nothing wrong with that, but there's something wrong with the way people handle situations if you handle it from an emotional standpoint.
That's right, bro.
You know, I just feel like, you know, but as men, aggression is going to be met with aggression.
That's right.
You know, so it's about tact. Like you said, you got to learn when to say, how to say it, and what to say.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong. I'll politely be like, excuse me, so I'm going to knock you out. You know what I'm saying? If it has to get to that, you know
try to tell you more than once.
If we got to get to that, we can
After
still
that
have
first polite, yo, good. What's good, bro?
Yeah.
Next one. Come on, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
Next one. All right,
and I
now
know
we gotta really do something right now.
But I know this is what these brothers are saying, so I don't want to speak for them, but I know what they're basically saying. If they feel like that's the only option, they're going to go to. So they're not basically saying that after the first time, even though I know this is what you said, but this is not really, if this is the only option, and which means that you ain't going to play with it.
After I've constantly.
That's right.
You know, you can only warn a person so many times, bro. And if you've lived long enough and done what we've done, you know absolutely when your life is in danger, bro.
Yeah.
Not to say that anything can't happen to you, but if you're under a certain pressure.
Realistically, because we got people out here that like to scream, it's up and it ain't up. Or as soon as something happens, somebody say something direct, they want to call all the goons and get all the choppers, and it don't even be that major.
That's right.
You get what I'm saying? Half of the time, it's only about money and a female, period. It ain't nothing major. Ain't nobody doing nothing to your family members or something crazy where you got to have some extreme type of retaliation.
Yeah,
It's
man.
crazy.
My YNs out there get you some careers and some money, bro. That's
right,
like, let's go out here and focus on how you can change your community, change your mom's crib, change your situations with your family.
That's right, bro.
Start worried about, I understand if you got hustling bones in your body, it's a million ways to hustle.
Right,
get it how you can get it.
That's
I ain't knocking that person, but at the same time, bro, sometime like they've been saying on Facebook, at some point you got to get a vehicle if you've been hustling long enough, bro.
Yeah.
And that goes in correlation with at some point you got to really see the big picture when you're in the midst of doing what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? You got to really take control of, all right, damn, am I really focusing on me and a better living for today, or am I just focusing on what I can get done that's not that beneficial to my mindset?
That's
you know
right, bro.
what I'm saying? Whether that's drinking, smoking, hanging out with the guys, doing this and doing that. None of that is really that beneficial if you really tapping into your greater self,
That's
bro.
right, bro.
You know what I mean? That's how I look at life,
right.
bro.
That's right, man.
Hold on for 1 second, y'all. We got to take this time out to shout out our
Let's
sponsor,
go.
Jharris Investments. Safe, secure, affordable housing, building up the community one house at a time. He got a couple apartments out there that's out there on the market, man. Click the link in the description and, see if you get pre-approved. If you selling the house and you get your referral bonus. If you know somebody that want to sell a house, get your referral bonus. There's money in the picture.
Tap in. Jharris Investments.
So, is there anybody you want to shout out on the show while we on here, man?
I want to basically everybody who supported me, man, when I was in prison, and it don't necessarily have to be, and since I've been home, it didn't necessarily have to be in the form of a letter. People who may have thought about me was like, yo, man, I wonder how the brother doing, and maybe said a prayer for me, or may have wrote a letter or visited me in prison. People who wanted the best for me. So I'm sure you're one of these brothers.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I'm sure you're one of these brothers. People that I couldn't count how many individuals these are. But I would say them. I want to shout out, of course, my family. They've been super supportive. Some of the Muslim brothers that I knew prior to prison who were trying to be like big brothers to me, or maybe even little brothers, because they were younger, but now they're big brothers to me. I want to shout them out. And my wife, I got married in December. She's from Morocco. She lives in Morocco. I'll be going back, God willing, in October. We're waiting for her to come here because she has been the blessing in disguise, so to speak. She's been the one that I've been praying for.
Amen.
That I've been praying for. Praying, and was patient, even though it was difficult at times. So, I want to shout those people out, man, and I want to shout you out, bro.
Thank you, bro.
You said you did 17 years in prison, and got to a point where you was like, okay, enough is enough. Now you out here doing crazy work.
Right.
But in this case, we're talking about something positive, and the same with you. And the same with you. I was watching one of the clips from the podcast, and you mentioned like how you grew up and your father and so forth and so on, the things you've been through when you was like, and then now you at a point now it's like, yo, man, I'm trying to, I want to do something positive. So I want to shout you brothers out, man.
Yeah, man, I
and crazy
appreciate you,
work podcast.
Oh yeah.
To be honest, that I just subscribed to yesterday, but I'm gonna watch. I'm gonna watch all the episodes.
Keep sharing.
Yeah.
Crazy
Yes, sir.
Work
Yes, sir.
Podcast.
Yes, sir.
You heard me?
Man, y'all have a blessed one. We out of here.
Yeah.
Peace.
This is Krazy Work Podcast. Let's talk about it.